Hello, good morning, and a warm welcome to ADBN's flagship program, Morning Express. My name is Chijoke Okafo. It's barely 24 hours to the off-cycle Edo gubernatorial polls, and three political newbies are at the starting line, ready to race for the most aspired position in the state. Now we'll be having this discussion, a more robust and in-depth deliberation into this topic. But before we delve into those matters, let's now join Amma Marcus to bring us up to speed with the latest developments in the news. Hello and good morning, Amma.
Hello, Chijoke. Good morning and welcome to ADBN News at 7. We bring you the latest headlines from across the nation and the world. I am Amma Marcus. Presidential Committee on Livestock Reforms and Implementation has submitted its inception report to President Bola Tinubu at the State House, Abuja. Chaired by former Independent National Electoral Commission's chairman, Professor Atairu Jega, the committee has outlined strategies for the government to effectively manage Nigeria's livestock sector while addressing the persistent farmer-herder clashes. Speaking with journalists after the meeting, Professor Jega revealed that 152-page report highlights measures to optimize the livestock industry and recommends a balanced approach to resolve the herder-farmer conflict. The committee suggests that it would be premature to immediately halt open grazing, recognizing it as a long-standing practice. Instead, the report advocates for a transition period where both ranching and open grazing can coexist. The committee has also proposed a 10-year roadmap aimed at achieving significant improvements in the livestock sector, while emphasizing the importance of adopting modern technologies to enhance livestock production in Nigeria. In addition, the report includes detailed guidance on the operations of the newly established Federal Ministry of Livestock, a department recently created by President Bola Tinubu to address challenges in the livestock sector. The report is expected to be made public soon, allowing for broader public engagement and feedback. It would be recalled that President Tinubu inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Livestock Reforms in July 2024 to tackle barriers to agricultural productivity and explore new opportunities that benefit farmers, herders, and other stakeholders in the livestock value chain. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima has called on regulatory agencies in Nigeria to eliminate overlaps in their operations and align their actions with President Bola Tinubu's agenda for economic growth and improved ease of doing business. He emphasized the administration's commitment to streamlining the regulatory environment, which is crucial for driving coordination, transparency, and global competitiveness. Speaking at the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council Regulators Forum yesterday at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, VP Shettima highlighted the need for a regulatory system built on trust, consistency, and collaboration. He urged regulators to innovate and guide Nigeria towards becoming a thriving economy while also addressing concerns raised by the private sector. The Vice President also urged the regulators to heed President Tinubu's vision for a regulatory system that drives economic growth, attracts investment, and improves the quality of life for Nigerians. He commended PEBEC's efforts in reducing obstacles faced by businesses and called the forum a defining moment for reflecting on the duties owed to the nation. Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Office of the Vice President, Senator Ibrahim Ajedia, in her presentation, outlined PEBEC's 2024 outlook, emphasizing reforms in Nigeria's business and investment climate. Meanwhile, Special Advisor to the President on PEBEC and Investments, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, highlighted the need for regulators to act as enablers and assess the health of businesses under their supervision. The meeting included heads of key federal regulatory agencies such as the Nigerian Communications Commission, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and others. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has offered scholarship grants of 500,000 naira each to the second batch of students of the tertiary institutions from Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District. The Senate President, while presenting these scholarship awards to the students at his hometown of Okanikontwen in Esenudem local government area of Akwa Ibom State, pledged to purchase JAMB forms and payment of school fees for vulnerable school children in secondary schools across Akwa Ibom State. According to Senator Akpabio, the gesture will aid vulnerable children attain their educational heights.
Providing 100,000 to each of you. We are also going to collect the names of very vulnerable children, and then we'll buy from the JAMB form for them. The JAMB form. And then for some of them in the secondary school, we'll take care of their wife fees and nothing fees. Are you hearing me? Yeah. So we want to do massive investment in education, because the difference between the Senate President and others is his love for education.
Senate President also flagged off the distribution of 16,800 fertilizers to farmers in the state through the Godswill Akpabio Back to Farm initiative. He stated that this will ensure robust food production for the teeming public, adding that 26 hectares of land have already been acquired to ensure large-scale farming for food sufficiency. Well, Senator Akpabio also distributed rice to the people, assuring of President Bola Tinubu's resolve to rid the country of hunger.
The people of the senatorial district had already chosen to follow President Bola Tinubu through the All Progressive Congress, and just to reassure them that I will not disappoint them. You can see wherever I go to, I come with my leaders, Weboyin, and so many other senators who came with me. They have witnessed what we are doing here. When we spoke yesterday at the stadium, some critics said that we're just talking and that nothing will happen. But of course, you have seen with your eyes that a lot is happening. I believe strongly in empowerment, educationally and otherwise. I said about 42 roads are currently under construction, but the reality is that many of them have actually been finished, awaiting just commissioning. I said that we have about 30 school blocks that we are doing. Many of them have been completed, and by December we'll start the commissioning in the readiness. And I also mentioned the fact that health centers are being built, and many of them are almost at the verge of being completed. And all these things are part of the consistency projects that we are handling here, and that is courtesy of President Bola Tinubu, who has given us the leverage to touch the lives of the less privileged and to touch the rural communities and grassroots.
Recipients of these scholarship awards extended their appreciation to the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and his wife, Mrs. Unoma Akpabio, for their commitment to supporting education through the scholarship initiative.
I am from Ikono local government area. I school at University of Uyo. I study medicine and surgery. I am one of the beneficiaries of the scholarship of the Senate President of Nigeria. This scholarship is very beneficial to me. I'll be able to pay my school fees. I'll be able to buy the necessary textbooks I need for my medical school, and a lot of burden has been lifted from my parents.
A very big thank you to His Excellency, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio.
So on behalf of us as students and the beneficiaries, we want to say a very big thank you to our benefactor for all his love and his blessings towards the students, and secondly for ensuring that students are enriched with a serene environment for learning. So on behalf of all of us, we want to say a big thank you and may the Lord bless him.
President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has reassured the people of Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District of his commitment to improving their lives through various development initiatives, including the construction of rural roads, provision of electricity, healthcare centers, and other empowerment programs. Senator Akpabio made this pledge during the official launch of the All Progressives Congress campaigns for the 2024 local government elections in Akwa Ibom State. ADBN correspondent David Isong completes the report.
With the local government elections fast approaching, political activities are in full swing. Senator Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom, joined APC supporters to kick off the campaigns ahead of the October 5th, 2024 election. Accompanied by the National Assembly members and party leaders, Senator Godswill Akpabio highlighted his ongoing empowerment projects, including the construction of 42 roads and establishment of modern markets across the state's 31 local government areas, along with healthcare centers and other infrastructure development.
Let me start by formally launching the Back to Farm initiative. We call it GOA. That's Godswill Akpabio Back to Farm initiative. I'm starting that with 600 bags of fertilizer per local government. 600 per local government. Among the many projects that you are going to have, because I'll come back so that we render account. I know at least 151 projects are currently ongoing, but you have more than that. You have at least 14 ICT centers under construction, which we are going to commission for your use. In this regional district, for example, every local government has a modern backend being constructed right now. Every single local government.
Senate President Akpabio further appreciated President Bola Tinubu for his endless support to Akwa Ibomites, further reaffirming his dedication to his constituents and the people of Akwa Ibom.
I want to stand in this mammoth crowd to appreciate the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the various appointments he is already churning out affecting Akwa Ibom children at the federal level. Those in support that APC should take over the entire state up with the local government election say, I want you to shout so that the President will hear you that the local government autonomy that is spearheaded is working in Akwa Ibom. Are you going to win the local government election?
The chairman of APC in Akwa Ibom, Obong Stephen Turepo, after the Senate President's speech, presented the party's chairmanship candidates from all the 31 local government areas with flags, symbolizing the formal commencement of their campaign mandate.
I thank His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for expeditiously granting us this venue. And having thanked him, it goes to demonstrate the fact that his collaborative spirit has indeed given every son and daughter of Akwa Ibom State a place in this government. And we tell God Almighty to bless the executive governor of this great state for doing what everybody expects him to do. He is a good man. Today, we are very privileged to live in a generation that uncommon personality in the person of Dr. Godswill Akpabio is alive and active. Generation unto generation, we always have one leader. And today, he has stand tall to identify with great leaders of the 10 past that indeed he is ready to take us to a fulfilled land.
David Isong, ADBN News.
In a related development, Senate President Senator Godswill Akpabio has urged the former All Progressive Congress EXCO members in Akwa Ibom State, dissolved by court order in March 2022, to follow a leader who has the interest of the people at heart, with the ability to better their lives. Senator Akpabio, who is the leader of the party in the state, made the statement during a reconciliation meeting held by Senator John Itainang, Chairman, Akwa Ibom State APC Reconciliation Committee, with the dissolved EXCO members loyal to former National Secretary of the party, Senator John James Udoidege in Uyo.
Search for the heart that would love the people of Akwa Ibom. Search for the heart that will give you the best infrastructure. Search for the heart that will take your children out of the street of Lagos, Abuja, and Enugu from selling groundnut and give them free and compulsory education. That's what it should say.
The Senate President emphasized that political parties should focus on fostering development rather than creating conflict. Senator Akpabio thanked President Bola Tinubu for fighting for local government autonomy, which will bring government closer to the people, while reiterating his commitment to transforming the lives of the people through progressive legislation.
To thank President Bola Tinubu, today is going to ensure local government autonomy. So the money of local government can work for you. It's not only the state government that has money, but the local government money sometimes you never see. But we are going to put things in place to make sure. The Supreme Court has already ruled that money should go direct to the local government. So we are going to tinker with the Constitution with my colleagues to make sure that local government is actually a third tier of government that will cater for the less privileged people, the vulnerable. Not everybody can get to federal government. So this is where I belong. I don't belong to a political party. I belong to transformation. I belong to purposeful leadership. I belong to uncommon transformation.
Party state officers, including Mr. Kufre Akpan, Mr. Obong Kufre, and Elder Mrs. Roslyn Eyang, also expressed their continued support for the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, and the APC.
We are happy that we are here to meet today, sir, and we want to hear from what you tell us, to encourage us. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Everything about me is in APC, and on that day, I voted APC. Then the women in the party, they voted APC. We never left you in any form.
We resisted attending to that law. We resisted attending to promise for that man because we back at this stage, at this time in which is to lie, to work back and be loyal. These are all loyal members.
Also present at the reconciliation meeting was Senator Eteng Williams, representing Cross River Central Senatorial District, along APC stalwarts in the state. You're watching ADBN News at 7, watch us on DSTV, channel 258, on Star Times, channel 140, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website on adbntv.com. More stories to come after this break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the world where innovation meets opportunity, where ideas become empires. This is Market TV.
I am Idorian Flannan, and every week I'll be taking you inside the dynamic world of marketing and commercial business.
From groundbreaking startups to big businesses, Market TV brings you the best pricing and latest goods on display.
It's all about understanding your audience and staying ahead of the trends.
Witness the creative processes that drive the various brands.
Join us as we dive deep into the strategies that shape the commercial landscape. From streets to traditional advertising and social media, we cover it all.
Whether you're a seasoned professional or an aspiring entrepreneur, Market TV provides the insights you need to thrive.
This show gave us the tool to turn our vision into reality.
So, if you're ready to master the market, tune into Market TV every Saturday at 6 p.m.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people dey talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
In this kind of situation now, what if they really no talk to una? Wetin be the way forward?
They go bury our chairman on Thursday. We go remain here.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we no dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager, the bank executive, they are the one the government should first pay.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. You're watching ADBN News at 7. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, has emphasized the urgent need to empower the less privileged afflicted by poverty in the society. He made the emphasis at the launch of the End Austerity in Nigeria campaign in Abuja, which featured public discourse on ending poverty and inequality in the country. Senator Bagudu, in a message to the occasion, said this would ensure a thriving opportunity for the less privileged in a contemporary society. ADBN correspondent Edidion Ibanga tells us more.
Represented by Director of Macroeconomic Analysis in the ministry, Mr. Felix Okonkwo, Senator Bagudu underscored the impact of poverty in fueling terrorism, insecurity and unemployment. He urged citizens to take shared responsibility in addressing poverty and inequality across the nation.
Addressing poverty is essential not only for economic growth, but also for preventing conflict, insecurity, and mitigating the effects of climate change.
Country Director of Action Aid Nigeria, a non-governmental organization, Mr. Andrew Mamudu, provided alarming statistics during the event. He regretted that country's debt burden has increased by 300% between 2010 and 2020, reaching 31 trillion naira. This figure, he further regretted in 2024, reportedly rose to 91.4 trillion naira, highlighting the pressing need for immediate action.
Nigeria's socio-economic landscape has shifted dramatically, with consequences that have been particularly harsh on the most vulnerable members of our society, women, children, and the poor. According to our latest research, we have the 133 million persons that is living in multidimensional poverty.
In a presentation, lead director of Center for Social Justice, Barrister Eze Onyekpere, discussed negative impacts of austerity measures on poverty and gender inequality in the country.
Austerity measures is like salvation. To be born again is a personal decision. And I told him that in his family he's already practicing austerity, because he's no longer driving cars the way he used to because he can't afford them. Possibly you may have downgraded the schools your children are going from the 500,000 one to 200,000 or to public schools. That's austerity.
Mr. Mamadou also advocated for transformative solutions, urging key stakeholders and development partners to collaborate in addressing country's challenges. Didion Ibanga, ADBN News.
Nigeria Police Force has introduced the Electronic Central Motor Registry known as EMCR system aimed at making roads safer and the policing process more efficient. This innovation will ensure that motorists are no longer stopped on the road for the verification of vehicle documents. Force Public Relations Officer APC Olumiwa Adejobi shared details of the new system yesterday, highlighting its benefits in the ease of e-policing. Under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Ekbetokun, the EMCR system allows vehicle owners to register their vehicles digitally, providing real-time responses in emergencies. ACP Adejobi explained that if a registered vehicle is stolen, owners can flag it as stolen through their online profile, alerting officers nationwide within seconds and increasing the chances of swift recovery. He also noted that the system eliminates the need for physical paperwork as officers are equipped with technology that allows them to verify vehicle documents in real time, streamlining the process. The ECMR initiative is part of broader efforts to modernize Nigeria's motor vehicle registration system, aimed at enhancing the nation's safety and security. Initially, the enforcement of this system was scheduled for July 2024, but was delayed to allow for more public awareness on its benefits. Federal Capital Territory Police Command has acknowledged the viral video circulating on social media involving a woman who was allegedly confined at a hotel in Wuse, Abuja on the 17th of September 2024 by a suspected internet fraudster for purported ritual purposes. The command says preliminary investigations have revealed that the suspect is currently in custody of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, who are yet to transfer the case to the police for a more thorough investigation. The FCT Police Command, through its spokesperson, SB Josephine Ade, stated they are waiting for the NSCDC to hand over all individuals involved in the case to ensure a diligent and discreet investigation is conducted. Nasarawa State First Lady Hajia Abdullahi Sule has called on women to maximize the impact of a 50,000 Naira grant under the Renewed Hope initiative launched by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. The initiative is designed to boost the businesses of petty traders across the state. Our Nasarawa State correspondent, Mary Ojiji, who was at the launch, now reports.
The ceremony held at the Aliyu Akwedoma Banquet Hall in Lafia saw 1,000 women from Nasarawa's 13 local government areas receive the capitalization grants. Hajia Selefat Abdullahi Sule expressed her appreciation to Senator Oluremi Bola Tinubu for fulfilling her promise, noting that the funds would significantly improve the beneficiaries' livelihoods. Wife of the Deputy Governor, Sheila Tosan Akabe, advised the women to carefully manage the funds, emphasizing the need to differentiate between capital and profit to ensure sustainable business growth.
Be able to differentiate between capital and profits. Don't use it to make soup for your dear husband in the house. And when you use it, what happens at the end of the day? It finishes. And we're back to square one, isn't it? So please, for the petty traders that we are stretching out to and all the other beneficiaries from the different groups, there are a lot of different groups here that have been captured by Excellency. In the economy, we all know it is tight, but for now, yes. But we'll laugh at the end of the day by the grace of God.
Other key figures, including the Commissioner for Women Affairs, Hajia Aisha Rufai Ibrahim, Head of Civil Service, Abigail Waya, and Commissioner of Finance, Munirat Abdullahi, praised the initiative and urged the beneficiaries to utilize the grants responsibly.
Also thank Her Excellency, the First Lady, for creating an enabling environment for the women of Nasarawa State to benefit from this very important program.
No matter how small or how big you might think it is, it can be grown into something big. And we believe that with the caliber of women that we have in Nasarawa State, you'll be able to grow it into something that will benefit not only you, but the entire people of Nusra State. So I congratulate you.
Her Excellency, the wife of the President, the First Lady of Nigeria, has looked at women and said that she would not leave us behind. And she'll come back to our rural communities through our First Ladies to identify the most vulnerable amongst us, to empower you. And in doing that, you're contributing your quota to the development of this country. So do not take this lightly. Take this as a very kind gesture, but as an empowerment for you to be able to do your best to make Nigeria a better place.
One of the beneficiaries, Kairat Aliyu Uneshi, a graphic designer, said she plans to use the grant to purchase a new computer, which will help expand her business.
This money, seriously, I'm really happy about it. And only thing I can tell Her Excellency is that I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
The event also featured the presentation of cash to the beneficiaries and a colorful display of cultural dance. Mary Ojiji, ADBN News.
You're still watching ADBN News at 7. Watch us on DSTV channel 258, on StarTimes channel 140, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website on adbntv.com. More stories to come after this break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Step into the heartbeat of the world, where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world's unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and StarTimes, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people they talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
If you are not a judge, you are not a judge.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we not dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager, the bank executive, they are the one the government should first face.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
Welcome back. And now to report on the foreign scene, Africa Center for Disease Control has raised concerns that the Mpox outbreak across Africa is not yet under control, with cases still increasing in several countries. This warning was issued yesterday during a briefing by the Director General of Africa CDC, Dr. Jean Kaseya. Well, according to the Africa CDC data, Mpox cases on the continent have surged by 177%, with a 38.5% rise in deaths compared to the same period last year. The situation is particularly alarming as countries are still recovering from the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic, which exposed critical weaknesses in the healthcare systems. Reports show in just 1 week, 2,912 new cases were reported, including one in Morocco, indicating that the spread of the disease across 4 regions of the continent. 15 out of the 55 member states of the African Union have now reported Mpox cases. Dr. Kaseya emphasized that in countries such as Cameroon and the Democratic Republic of Congo, 2 strains of Mpox are in circulation. However, due to inadequate surveillance and testing systems, it is difficult to determine if other nations are similarly affected. Meanwhile, some countries, including Rwanda, have begun responding with vaccinations, while the Democratic Republic of Congo, the epicenter of the outbreak, plans to roll out vaccinations in early October. The post-president of Gabon, Mr. Ali Bongo, has revealed his formal withdrawal from political life following a military coup that removed him from power in August 2023. In a letter addressed to the Gabonese people, Mr. Bongo, who is 65, reaffirmed his decision to renounce any future political ambitions and called for the immediate release of his wife and son, who are currently in detention, facing corruption charges. It remains unclear whether Mr. Bongo's statement follows negotiations with the military government or if his decision to step away from politics is an attempt to secure his family's freedom. However, the president, who led Gabon from 2009 until his ousting, has been kept under house arrest since the coup but was released shortly afterwards, although he still faces restrictions on his movements. Mr. Bongo's letter also expressed regret over the shortcomings of his presidency, acknowledging that despite some achievements, many Gabonese people continue to suffer. He urged the military junta to foster national reconciliation and end the country's prolonged national sufferings. Over to sports. David Raya delivered an incredible double save during a penalty kick, helping Arsenal secure a goalless draw against Atlanta in their Champions League opener. The Spanish goalkeeper dove low to his right to deny Mateo Retegui's penalty and swiftly moved across the goal to prevent striker's follow-up from crossing the line. Well, this was the only moment of excitement in the otherwise lackluster match in Bergamo. Well, chances are scarce and Raya did not face any other significant threats apart from that 2-second sequence. Nigerian striker George Ilenikena made an impressive debut at the Champions League, scoring as Monaco defeated 10-man Barcelona 2-1. The 18-year-old substitute seized the opportunity in the 71st minute, sprinting into Vanderson's long ball over the defense and driving his shot past goalkeeper. Well, Monaco took the lead after Barcelona was reduced to 10 men, but Barcelona's teenage sensation equalized with his first Champions League goal. However, Ilenikena's strike, his first since joining from Royal Antwerp this summer, ultimately sealed the defeat for Barcelona. That's it on ADBN News at 7. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258, on Star Times channel 140, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website on adbntv.com. Not forgetting, you can watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to adbntv.com/live. Thanks for joining the news this morning. I am Ama Marcus. Do stay tuned for the continuation of Morning Express.
Well, thank you, Ama Marcus, for taking us through our first major news bulletin of the day. Now, as the Edo polls draws nearer, The Nigerian military has set up state boundaries around the state, while EFCC is on the hunt for vote buyers. Brothers are going to war at the polls, and what will be the outcome? We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll review some newspaper headlines with stories making the rounds around the Edo polls. Do well to stay with us.
It is Groovy Mono, aka the Steez Prince.
Yo, what's up? It's Big Shags. I'm in London.
Hey guys, I'm Princess Jekoko. My name is Mutale Mwanza, the Queen of Zambian Media.
My name is Grand Prince Itek. Hi guys, my name is Baj Adibule. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello guys, I'm Falagade Banks.
My name is Kelechi Amadiobi, photographer, storyteller.
My name is Lanradi Dura, I'm an actor.
My name is Chidi Mokeme.
Hi, my name is Uche Uba.
It's Tobe season.
I'm Miss Thames.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas, I am Jimmy. You can call me the entertainer.
My name is Essie Odometa. I am an actor and a film producer.
My name is Sobi Kuvala.
Hi. My name is Julius the Genius. I would give a shout out to ADBN.
Big shout out to ADBN TV.
You're watching ADBN.
And you are watching.
Keep watching ADBN TV.
And this is ADBN TV.
And this is a shout out to ADBN TV. Keep watching, don't switch the dial. Shout out to ADBN. Keep watching, love.
And you are watching ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN TV. I've got one thing for you. Make sure you keep watching ADBN TV.
And shout out
to ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN TV. Don't touch the dial.
And you're watching
ADBN TV. Keep watching ADBN TV.
And I'm shouting out to ADBN TV.
You're watching ADBN TV.
Keep watching ADBN TV. This is where to be. And you're watching ADBN.
And shout out to
ADBN TV.
And shout out to ADBN TV. Keep watching.
And you're watching ADBN TV.
Keep watching ADBN TV.
Right now you are checking out ADBN TV. One time.
ADBN. Keep watching. I love you and kisses.
Keep watching ADBN.
And a special shout out to ADBN. Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Please don't touch that dial.
Stay groovy.
Hey, Bobby.
Ah!
It's a shout out to ADBN.
ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to the world where innovation meets opportunity, where ideas become empires. This is Market TV.
I am Idorian Flannan, and every week I'll be taking you inside the dynamic world of marketing and commercial business.
From groundbreaking startups to big businesses, Market TV brings you the best pricing and latest goods on display.
It's all about understanding your audience and staying ahead of the trends.
Witness the creative processes that drive the various brands.
Join us as we dive deep into the strategies that shape the commercial landscape. From streets to traditional advertising and social media, we cover it all.
Whether you're a seasoned professional or an aspiring entrepreneur, Market TV provides the insights you need to thrive.
This show gave us the tool to turn our vision into reality.
So, if you're ready to master the market, tune into Market TV every Saturday at 6 p.m.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people dey talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
In this kind of situation now, what if they really no talk to una? Wetin be the way forward?
They go bury our chairman on Thursday. We go remain here.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and when we know say we no dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager, the bank executive, they are the one the government should first pay.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Amma Marcus. Be a part of the world's unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Glad you could join us. We don't expect much significant weather by Friday morning as cloudy atmosphere is expected across the country with spells of sunshine to the north and the north central cities. However, we have slim prospect of early morning thunderstorms to parts of Adama, Taraba, Kebbi, FCT, Niger, Kwara and Kogi, with light rain showers to parts of Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. The afternoon weather is more to the eastern parts of the country, where thunderstorms and rains are expected across the northeastern region, including parts of Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, FCT and Kogi, as well as the southeastern region and parts of Ondo, Ogun and Oyo in the southwest. Let's see how this weather affects the temperatures.
You're welcome back to Morning Express. Now, to set the tone for discussions on the program this morning, we'll be taking a look at some newspaper headlines and the story. Major newspaper publications this morning is that of the Edo gubernatorial polls. Now, do well to remember that as we read out these headline stories, they are strictly published under the guidelines of these newspaper publications and not necessarily the stance or position of ADBN television on these stories of interest or topics. I will not be doing this alone. Beat O'Brien is also joining in on the program at this point. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program, Bito.
Yeah, good morning to you, Chijoke. It's nice to be back in the studios this Friday morning, and good morning to our viewers as well. Much like Chijoke said, it's the conversation starter, and would like to give you an overview of what the headline stories have on their front pages ahead of tomorrow's election in Edo State, as the electoral umpire INEC intensifies preparations. Now, Chijoke, let's look at the first 5 newspapers that have that similarity in the headline stories?
Well, certainly we have the New Telegraph newspaper, the Vanguard, the Daily Independent, Leadership Friday, as well as the Guardian newspaper. Well, let's pick up the first two papers as we begin. Well, the first three papers, starting off with the New Telegraph newspaper this morning, you'd find on the front page of the New Telegraph beneath the masthead and the four inserted top stories. Edo Guba, campaigns have ended. INEC tells parties as brothers go to war. Straplines say personalities, factors that will shape poll. Yaga Africa sports 8 local governments flashpoints as INEC begins materials distribution, while Jonathan sues for peace, charges commission orders to maintain neutrality. Above the headline story, you'd find unlawful sack. A court grants federal government, or Apex Court grants federal government ex-CJN Onogen's request to settle out of court. Fixes November 4th for settlement report. While Minister rules out bailout for airlines, says good policies will drive growth. NCAA to wade into unresolved ticket refunds. Council's autonomy. Senate to give power to Supreme Court judgment, says Senate President Godswill Akpabio. While Iwanyawo's final journey starts October 16th in Lagos, Ohaneze and Dibo have revealed. Above that headline story and above the masthead, at the very top, Nigeria now records monthly net flow of $2.35 billion. This is a statement by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. And FDI NBC announces 1 billion naira investment in Nigeria. Rider stories you'd find on the front page of the New Telegraph. Stories around digital transformation as ICPC recovers stolen 4 billion naira within 24 hours. Says fund left government coffers into private custody. Vows to enforce Supreme Court's judgment on local government autonomy. Urges National Assembly to pass whistleblower bill. Tinubu shelves 79th UN General Assembly to tackle domestic issues. Directs Shetima to lead Nigeria's delegation. While Abia ranks first, Katsina last as NACO releases results. 828,284 pass English and Maths. While U.S. government accuses African Stream of working for Russian spy. Now, these are the stories you'd find on the front page of the New Telegraph. Crossing over very quickly to the Vanguard as we continue in our review. On the front page of the Vanguard, beneath the masthead, it starts with the caption, Edo, make governorship poll credible. Parties, CSOs, can. Jonathan, others task INEC and the police. And above the masthead, Nigerians are petitioning for their lawmakers' recall due to hardship, INEC says. While ex-British envoy cautions against October protest and urges foreign influence. Hiked petrol price has rendered 70,000 naira minimum wage useless, the Nigerian Labour Congress has alleged. And rather, you'd find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, the hashtag End Bad Governance protest aftermath. Lawyers secure release of 6 Kano protesters. While federal government warns Nigerians to relocate as Cameroon releases water from Lagdo Dam. Inserted prominently on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, you'd find a picture of Ayegboje, AIG, Imokwede, Chairman, Access Holdings PLC, Bolaji Agbede, Acting GMD and CEO, Access Holdings PLC, Mr. Wale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, President, Dangote Group, and Bismarck Rawani, MD and CEO, Financial Derivatives Company Limited, Paul Usoro, Chairman, Axis Bank PLC, Taiwo Oyedele, Chairman, Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, and Roosevelt Ogbonna, MD, CEO, Axis Bank PLC during the 2024 Axis Corporate Forum in Lagos yesterday. Now, photo credit goes to Akim Salau. Moving on to the Daily Independent newspaper. Captured on the Daily Independent newspaper would start off with the splashed caption in red, Edo Guba election, followed by the major headline story that reads, voters file out tomorrow amid increased tension, heightened security. Straplines say, fear of voter apathy, violence, malpractice, rife in state. Jonathan asks INEC security operatives to be neutral. Politicians must pursue interests within confines of law. And Yaga Africa identifies 8 local government areas as hotspots for violence. Worried, voter intimidation, vote buying may mar election. Away from that, above the masthead, Senate to reject Constitution to enforce ruling on local government autonomy. While tenure of acting PDP chair, governors are divided as Board of Trustees and National Assembly caucus meet to save party from internal crisis. Feature stories you'd find on the front page of the Daily Independent newspaper. Inserted to the bottom left, VP decries bureaucracy, seeks synergy among regulatory agencies. Leads Nigeria's delegation to 79th UN General Assembly. Keyamo gives NCAA 24 hours to resolve air tickets funds with airlines. While brighter stories say ex-British diplomat warns against October protest, hints at foreign backing. Appeal court okays out-of-court settlement between federal government and former CGN on the issue of an unlawful sack. While Coca-Cola is set to invest $1 billion in Nigeria as Tinubu assures of a stable economy. Major rider story here, you'd find that the federal government is set to unveil consumer credit funding, single-digit mortgage scheme, says foreign reserves net inflow risen by $2.35 billion in just 7 months.
Now, crossing away from this first 3 papers, all with a similarity in the headline story following the build-up to the Edo Guba polls, let's accommodate more newspapers with such similarities. Now, captured on the front pages of the Leadership Friday newspaper and The Guardian, you'd find more publications in light with the aforementioned. On the Leadership Friday, you'd find the catchphrase, after campaigns, APC, PDP, LP await Edo voters' reply tomorrow. 15 others upbeat about race to Osedebe House. Flashpoints identified in 8 local government areas. 43,000 security personnel deployed. Defense chief assures peaceful polls. On the rider, rift in PDP Governors Forum widens. Not inserted next to the rider story is a feature publication. Borno loses 27 billion naira in 9 days, owing to floods. Above the masthead, Tinubu skips UN Assembly, focuses on domestic issues. Jazzy wins 2024 Global Most Promising Islamic Bank Award. Now on the front page of The Guardian, the catchphrase beneath the masthead reads, Edo decides 2024. People, politics, power and their godfathers on a war path. In what has been largely characterized as a 3-horse race, you'd find the 3 front runners as depicted by the caricature beneath the lead story. Other stories of interest captured on the front page of The Guardian include anxiety over Edo poll as police vow to descend on troublemakers. Outrage as EFCC. Bello arrest saga mocks 80.2 billion naira fraud charge. Appeal court approves FG on Nogen out of court settlement. NNPCL marketers return to PMS import over shortfall from Dangote. PDP crisis. More cracks in governors' ranks as Board of Trustees meets NAS caucus. Fubara's loyalists to contest council elections under APP. Court orders Bemoil to pay $21 million, 10 billion naira contract debt to BGP/CNPC. APC. And those are the prominent stories as captured on The Guardian.
Well, moving away from those first 5 stories, our next 2 papers also bother around the lead-up to the Edo gubernatorial polls. But this time around, stories about tensions rising as the Nigerian military has set a state boundary, while EFCC is going after vote buyers in a vigorous crackdown. These 2 stories are captured on the Punch newspaper as well as the Business Day newspaper. Now, as they greet your screen, I'll read out the headlines. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, starting off with that, you'd find beneath the masthead, Edo poll. Military mans state boundaries. EFCC goes after vote buyers. Strapline say, security agencies ensure force. Government declares holiday. Materials arrive 18 local government areas. INEC upbeat of success. Above the masthead, Damagun, 4 governors back Wike's support for PDP chair. And Dangote officials, refiners tackle marketers over imported PMS. Farmer herder clashes. Federal government panel recommends open grazing and ranching. Now, beneath that and beside the masthead inserted is the story saying that NACO invites 40 schools over mass cheating in SSCE. Earlier, I read a story about the preparations to the Edo poll, and you'd also see inserted there on the front page of the Punch newspaper picture of men of the Nigeria Police Force preparing for the Edo governorship election as the Independent National Electoral Commission officials move electoral materials from the central bank in Benin City to the 18 local government areas on Thursday. Photo credit goes to Elliot, Ovaje, and INEC. Riders you'd find on the Punch newspaper, 3 riders inserted there, address ticket refunds in 24 hours. Federal government sells NCAA, while Lagos cleric abductors demand 30 million naira ransom. FX crisis, PZ cousins to sell Nigeria subsidiaries. This story is elaborated on news page 19 of the Punch newspaper. Now, moving away from the Punch, let's take a look at the Business Day as Edo decides. Now, it starts off with the headline story, Edo decides, infrastructure, security, jobs. Jobs top voters' concerns. We want transparent, violence-free election, says the electorate. While CDS warns troublemakers, says Tinubu has no favorite candidate. Now, both the masthead at the very top of the Business Day newspaper, INEC's litmus test in Edo, Beavers must prove its worth. This is an editorial story by the Business Day newspaper. And beneath that, Total Energies 11 PLC orders pay 766 naira per litre for Dangote petrol. Total Energies 11 others pay 766 naira per litre for Dangote petrol. Now, these are the stories you'd find on the Business Day newspaper.
Well, thank you, Chijoke. Moving on to more papers greeting our discuss this morning. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, speaking yesterday in Lagos at the Access Bank 2024 Corporate Forum, restated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's drive to ensure that the business climate in Nigeria is more friendly. Now, citing financial liquidity in terms of foreign inflows in the first 7 months of this year, the Minister of Finance is certain that the economic outlook for Nigeria is brighter. Now, 3 papers paint this reportage, and they are the Daily Times, The Nation, and the Nigerian News Direct. Let's look at all 3 of them. Now, led by the Daily Times this morning, you'd find the publication with the story, "We're building strong financial system, business-friendly economy," says Tinubu. Says private sector partnership central to his government's far-reaching reforms. Coca-Cola announces $1 billion investment in Nigeria. Now, above that lead story are 3 feature stories beneath the masthead. Nigeria is set to get $1.5 billion World Bank loan next week. With ECMR, no more stopping of vehicles to check papers, says the police. ICCPC to fight corruption with AI recovers 4 billion naira in 24 hours. Regulatory agencies must eliminate overlaps aligned with Tinubu's agenda, says Shettima. Appeal court gives nod to FG ex-CJN on Nogen to settle sack disputes out of court. Now crossing over to the Nation newspaper and the Nigerian News Direct. More reports on the state of the economy, as you'd find beneath the masthead on the Nation, the headline, "Economy on the right path," says Edun. Whilst above the masthead, it reads, "Cancel autonomy, Constitution for rework," says Akpabio. Red alert in Edo 24 hours to election. Poll materials in cancels. Tinubu shelves 79th hunger for domestic challenges. Governor, First Lady, Associates celebrate Hamzat at 60. Now on the Nigerian News Direct. The lead story still captures comments from the Minister of Finance as it reads, "Foreign reserves surged by $2.35 billion, bolstering Naira stability," says Edun, as Coca-Cola plans to invest $1 billion in Nigeria. Above the masthead, PDP crisis deepens as governors, bigwigs clash over sack of Damagun as acting national chairman. Tinubu shelves plan to attend 79th hunger to focus on tackling national issues. Nigeria will soon join countries decriminalizing attempted suicide, says the health minister. Zulum sponsors 180 postgraduates on foreign scholarships.
Well, moving away from those 2 papers now to the issue of local government autonomy and how the Senate is set to amend the Constitution to accommodate this new development in the country. This story is captured on just 1 paper this morning. The Daily Sun newspaper greets your screen as we see what the Nigerian Senate is planning for local government areas in the country. On the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper right now, you'd find the headline story, "Senate amends Constitution regarding local government provisions soon to ensure implementation of Supreme Court judgment." Senate amends Constitution regarding local government provisions soon to ensure implementation of Supreme Court judgment. Away from that story, let's start at the very top beside the masthead. Edo, Jonathan sues for peace, charges INEC security personnel to maintain neutrality. While federal government raises alarm over rising suicide cases, working to decriminalize attempted incidents. Rider stories you'd find on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper. 4 riders insulted there. We'd start with the story concerning farmers' herders clashes as Jegas committee recommends open grazing and ranching. There is relief as NACO releases 2024 SSCE results. 828,284 pass, while 8,437 involved in malpractices. Floods. Government puts losses at 1.6 million people affected. 634,000 displaced, 9,474 houses destroyed, while Shettima to lead Nigeria's delegation to the UN General Assembly. Inserted on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper, you'd find a picture of the group Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Muyiwa Akinyemi, Group Head, Customer Services, Mrs. Michelle Nwoga, Group Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Oliver Olauba, and Group Head, Humanitarian Capital Debt Management, Mrs. Modupe Akindele, Executive Directors, Mr. Alex Alozie and Mr. Ogochukwu Nwagodo, during the unveiling of the United Bank for Africa Time Capsule and Tribe Photo Wall, part of a year-long activities to celebrate the bank's 70th 75th anniversary in Lagos yesterday. Now, right next to that is a picture of the Vice President Kashim Shettima in a handshake with the Managing Director, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Chief Samuel Ogboku, after a meeting in Abuja yesterday.
Now, away from the Daily Sun newspaper, our next focus is on the reported cracks in the People's Democratic Party following a split along the governor lines following the decision to sack the acting chairman, Damagun. This is reported by the Nigerian Tribune. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, you'd find the lead story beneath the masthead. Cracks widen in PDP over plot to remove Damagun. Adamawa governors declare support for acting national chairman. I stand by PDP's constitution. Governors Forum says Governor Adeleke. More on this is captured on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune. And let's quickly highlight some other stories captured on the front page that might interest you. Prominently captured on the rider, you'd find the catchphrase Edo Guba. Heavy security ahead polls. 35,000 police officers, 6,433 NSCDC men, soldiers, EFCC on ground to ensure hitch-free polls. INEC asks party candidates to comply with Electoral Act. CAN holds prayer sessions for smooth election. Government declares today work-free day. Above the masthead, NECO releases results. 60.55% make credits in English, Maths. Says 40 schools in 17 states involved in malpractices to blacklist 21 supervisors. 75th anniversary, UBA goes back in time, unveils time capsule. Tribe photo walls. Controversy as NAS moves to rush new body to conduct LG elections.
Well, moving on to the first newspaper, CNPP has blasted Nigeria's anti-corruption body, the EFCC, over what it described as persecution of former Governor Yahaya Bello and a national embarrassment. As this paper greets your screen, we'll take a look at this story and other developing stories in the news. On the front page of the first newspaper, it starts off with the headline story. EFCC's persecution of Yahaya Bello, a national embarrassment. CNPP blasts anti-corruption body. Strapline says, coalition of 60 CSOs concur, says EFCC engaging in melodrama and theatrics. Above that headline story, at the very top beside the masthead, inserted is a picture of the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, and it is followed with the caption, Wale Edun, Nigeria's foreign reserves record $2.35 billion net inflow in 7 months. And beneath that, inserted are 5 top stories. NAFDAC dismantles 43 billion naira worth of counterfeit goods in Oyo, while 79th UN General Assembly, Shettima to lead Nigerian delegation as President Tinubu won't attend. Appeal court grants federal government ex-CJN's Onogen's request for out-of-court settlement, while employers paying below 7,000 naira minimum wage will face jail term. Federal government has warned. Police unveils benefits of ECMR, says we will no longer stop vehicles to check papers. Now inserted on the front page of this newspaper is a picture of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meeting with Coca-Cola's global leadership team in Abuja as the company announces a $1 billion investment in Nigeria over the next 5 years, reaffirming a strong partnership and commitment to economic growth. While riders on the front page of the first newspaper, NACO releases 2024 SSCE results. Over 800,000 get credits in English and Maths. World Bank set to approve $1.5 billion loan for key development projects in Nigeria.
Now to the next set of papers which turned the attention in terms of their lead stories to the situation following floods in Nigeria. The federal government seems to have a lot on its plate ahead of the release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. 3 papers with this in their focus include the Matrix newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and
Well, let me take that story. The Matrix newspaper, the Daily News Hub, as well as the Daily Trust newspapers all have stories capturing this.
Now, thank you, Chijoke. Let's start with the Matrix, where you find the headline story, Lagdo Dams flood alert, tension as another disaster looms. Food supply threatened as flood takes over Gombe-Yola Highway. Farmer headers stranded. FG to build 5 buffer dams, expand River Niger, Benue tributaries. Move to higher ground, FG warns Nigerians. Now you'd find a picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Professor Atahiru Jega with the caption towards lasting peace between headers farmers, as Professor Jega visited the presidential villa to keep the president abreast with the reforms of the Ministry of Livestock. Now above the masthead, you'd find the caption, foreign reserves recorded $2.5 billion monthly net inflows from January to July 2024, says Edo. Whilst inserted in red is a feature story. Edo decides 1 day to go. INEC commences distribution of sensitive materials. Early distribution would forestall any hitch, says REC. We do not want excuses again, Peter Obi warns INEC. Now, similarly, on the Daily Trust newspaper, you'd find more reports, but this time around, it captures the situation in Maiduguri. As it says, Maiduguri flood, victims in dilemma after discharge from camps. Our houses are inhabitable. We need support. We will assist them to build their homes, says Borno State government. Now, lastly, on the Daily News Hub, the rider is more where you find more reports on flood, with another order from the federal government for evacuations ahead of the opening of the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon. The lead story, however, has the catchphrase, can of worms. Zamfara governor opens up on minister, alleges Matawalle involved in banditry. Now, this is strong allegations as captured by the editorial on the Daily News Hub. Well, next to the masthead on the Daily News Hub, you'd have more on the Edo Guba. Stop indiscriminate arrest of PDP chieftains, group tells police.
Well, away from these 3 stories to our last paper on the lineup for newspaper reviews this morning. The Standard Times Nigeria newspaper greets your screen as NACO has released its latest results. Good news for Nigerian students as over 800,000 students have passed English and mathematics. On the front page of the Standard Times Nigeria, you'd find beneath the masthead, NACO releases 2024 SSCE examination to sanction 40 schools in 17 states. Now, above that story and above the masthead as well, foreign reserves net inflow rises $2.35 billion in 7 months. Foreign reserves net inflow rises $2.35 billion in 7 months, says Minister of Finance Wale Edun, while Polaris Bank makes new board appointments as EFCC NDPC partner on data protection. Stories you'd find on the Standard Times at the bottom. Rider stories say that court remands father for allegedly sexual assault of 7-year-old daughter, while Fitson partners Chinese firms to combat HIV in Africa. Correctional officer kills colleague over food in Bauchi. Federal government and Onogen get appeal court's nod to settle out of court. Revenue increase, better compliance, others necessary for tax reforms, says FIRS. While NAFDAC issues alerts on counterfeit popular Nigerian bathing soap. Edo people are wise, don't need Wiki to know whom to vote for. Governor Obaseki fires. Now, these are the stories you'd find on the front page of the Standard Times Nigeria newspaper.
Well, that's the overview of all the newspapers we'll look to discuss more in-depthly on our newspaper review segment. However, we'll take a break and we'll be joined by our in-house analyst to broaden the scope of conversation. We're hoping that you too can join online on either our YouTube channel at ADBN TV or on our webpage www.adbntv.com/live. We'll be right back to begin the conversation after this timeout.
It is Groovy Mono, aka the Steez Prince. Yo, what's up? It's Big Shags. I'm in London.
Hey guys, I'm Princess Jekoko. My name is Mutale Mwanza, the Queen of Zambian Media.
My name is Grand Friends iTech. Hi guys, my name is Baj Adibule. I'm an actor and a filmer.
Hello guys, I'm Falagade Banks.
My name is Kelechi Amadiobi, photographer, storyteller.
My name is Lanradi Dura, I'm an actor.
My name is Chidi Mokeme.
Hi, my name is Uche Uba.
It's TV season.
I'm Miss Thames.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas, I am Jimmy. You can call me the Entertainer.
My name is Esio Dometa. I am an actor and a film producer.
My name is Sobi Kubala.
Hi. My name is Julius the Genius. I would give a shout out to ADBN.
Big shout out to ADBN TV.
You're watching ADBN.
And you are watching.
Keep watching ADBN TV.
And this is ADBN TV.
And this is a shout out to ADBN TV. Keep watching, don't switch the dial.
Shout out to ADBN. Keep watching, love.
And you are watching ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN TV. I've got one thing for you. Make sure you keep watching ADBN TV.
And shout out to ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN TV. Don't touch the dial.
And you're watching
ADBN TV. Keep watching ADBN TV.
And I'm shouting out to ADBN TV.
You're watching ADBN TV.
Keep watching ADBN TV. This is where to be. And you're watching ADBN.
And shout out to
ADBN TV.
And shout out to ADBN TV. Keep watching.
And you're watching ADBN TV.
Keep watching ADBN TV.
Right now you are checking out ADBN TV. One time.
ADBN. Keep watching. I love you and kisses.
Keep watching ADBN.
And a special shout out to ADBN. Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Please don't touch that dial.
Stay groovy.
Mwah.
Hey, Bobby.
Ah! It's a shout out to ADBN.
ADBN. Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Glad you could join us. We don't expect much significant weather by Friday morning as cloudy atmosphere is expected across the country with spells of sunshine to the north and the north central cities. However, we have slim prospect of early morning thunderstorms to parts of Adama, Taraba, Kebbi, FCT, Niger, Kwara and Kogi with light rain showers to parts of Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. The afternoon weather is more to the eastern parts of the country, where thunderstorms and rains are expected across the northeastern region, including parts of Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, FCT, and Kogi, as well as the southeastern region and parts of Ondo, Ogun, and Oyo in the southwest. Let's see how this weather affects the temperatures.
Well, thanks for staying with us this Friday morning. While it may seem as though NIMED's 3-day of thunderstorms warning seems to be relaxing, it's more focused on the conclusion of campaigns ahead of tomorrow, the D-Day in the Edo Guber polls. Now, this leads one of the prominent issues in the news as captured by the dailies. We look to expand this conversation with the hope that you too can also give a situation report if you're in Benin City or are planning to be a part of the elections. Now, joining us in the studio to share thoughts on these developments as well is Comrade Richard Romanus. Good morning to you.
Morning. Good morning, my bro.
Good morning to you as well, Comrade. Well, let's start off. The elections is just barely 24 hours away.
True.
It's a hugely contested election, and many people have said that apart from the political newbies who are contesting in the election, there are other political gladiators and godfathers who have keen interest for the most vied for position in the state. What is your reaction to all of these events leading up to the Edo polls?
Well, I am not surprised with what is happening in Edo State. I'm not surprised in the sense that Edo State has always been that way, you know, each time there are elections, you know. And for tomorrow's governorship election, yes, you know, I have always known that it was going to be that way. The reason being that in the last 4 years, Governor Godwin Obaseki seemed to have angered a whole lot of people, you know, both politicians within the state and outside the state, you know. Hence, I have always known that the day will come where some or most of these politicians will want to extract their pound of flesh, you know, from him. As I sit here, I cannot tell you that I cannot easily predict who is easily going to have the day, you know, because whether you like it or not, the election is definitely going to be a keenly contested election.
Yeah, correct.
Just yesterday, I saw Governor Godwin Obaseki on TV talking about, a question was thrown at him where he said if he was worried about the Minister of FCT not supporting his candidate. He said he's not worried because Edo people would choose who will be their governor. But that again is contradictory. In 2020, when he was seeking re-election, he ran to Edo State to go and seek for the support of Wike. I remember that Nyesom Wike relocated from his state as governor then to Edo State for that election.
Yes. And
Nyesom Wike was a critical factor that made him win that election. In fact, if you ask me, almost all the political indices that led to Governor Obaseki's emergence in 2020 are today against him. And unfortunately, he is not going to be the victim. It is his candidate, Asue Godalo.
So do you think this categorically tells us that the FCT minister would be well behind Monday Okpebholo other than being behind Ighodalo?
Like I said, Godwin Obaseki in the last 4 years has carried on as though he was never going to need any politician in Nigeria to get his successor or to support his successor. And Governor Nyesom Wike was one of those persons, you know. And whether you like it or not, I have said here that so many politicians will want to extract their pound of flesh from Governor Godwin Obaseki. And trust me, Wike is one of those persons. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I am sure that Wike is definitely going to be interested
It's very evident because it brings it to the question of federal might. Exactly. Now that the FCT minister is appointed by the APC governor, the APC candidate in Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, is looking to tap into that federal might. You saw the rally by the APC, the vice president, the senate president, all there, and it almost feels as though even though the FCT minister was not on camera there, listening to comments made by Senator Adams Oshomole, he seemed to have, in some subtle manner, also put that into the conversation.
Again, like I told you earlier, so many indices, so many factors that were responsible for Governor Obaseki's re-election in 2020. You know, one of those indices or factors was that the federal government, as at the time, you know, was somehow neutral. You know, so it allowed for a free and fair process. You know, what I don't know is if this current federal government, you know, would allow for a free, fair, credible election. Like I said, in this election, the Edo State governorship election, PDP are still in this race. The PDP, the People's Democratic Party, are still in this race.
Yes.
Because of one man, the candidacy of Asue Ighodalo. trust me, I sincerely want to see that man become governor. Sincerely. Because whether we like it or not, we have had enough of good politicians. Let's begin to have good leaders. Let's begin to advocate for good leaders.
And he seems to be the people's favorite at this point.
And without fear of favor, I would say it is evidently clear that Asue Ighodalo will make a good governor. Well, sometimes they come and tell us all manner of sweet stuffs, and when they get there, they do a different thing. But I don't think that Asue is that type of man. But I am scared because I hope that he doesn't become the fall guy. He doesn't become Obasiki's fall guy. You know, Obaseki is an outgoing governor. He has absolutely nothing to lose. Yes. The only person that has something to lose right there is Asue Ighodalo.
If he wins.
Who? No. That is if he loses.
Oh, okay.
I am saying that because of the many enemies Obaseki has procured for himself,
he might inherit them.
Well, I mean, even in inheriting these enemies, even if he wins, this enmity could extend well into his tenure, which we have seen in the case of the Rivers State governor who had a fallout with his principal, Barrister Nyesom Wike, and you know the tension that is currently going on in Rivers State. This might be a replication in Edo.
No, for me, what is important here is if Ighodalo wins, it is fine. I think that is what Obaseki wants at this time. You know, my only problem is that right now, as at today, except again, let me say this: Edo people will be, for me, will finally solidify their place in my heart as some of the most sophisticated voters if Asue Ighodalo emerges winner of these elections. You know, why I say this is because politicians have ganged up and are coming for Obaseki's head.
Now, if you look at the picture that was painted during the last general elections, it appeared as if just 3 political parties were vying for the presidency, APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party, and the same portrait is being painted in the Edo polls this time around, as all 3 of them are from the APC, PDP, and the Labour Party, and it appears that only the APC candidate is the candidate who has had about a year's experience in politics. The rest of the 2 are newbies. You have been talking about the APC candidate and the PDP candidate. Let's talk about Akpata, Olumide Akpata. Let's talk about him. One-time NBA president, and now he's in politics. What does this mean for him? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel for this lawman who is suddenly delving into politics?
Well, in 2023 general elections, something very novel happened, and that thing was that even when people were shouting, "Oh, Peter Obi had no structures," I'm sure that so many people were surprised about the kind of votes he got. You know, Peter Obi won so many states that nobody believed Peter Obi was going to win.
Yeah.
And this is a man that we say had no structures. So how did he win? You know, I don't know if that is going to happen in Edo, but that was why I said Edo people over time have proven to be very, very, very sophisticated in terms of voting. Don't forget, Peter Obi won in Edo State in the last presidential elections, you know. But what I don't know is if Edo people will replicate what they did in 2023 presidential election for Olumide Akpata. And give it to Olumide Akpata. The guy has been, I have also followed his campaigns, you know. The guy I also think would make a good governor. His sound,
manifesto was very robust.
Very robust. You know, his sound. He has a clear vision for Edo State. You know, I like his ideas and all of that. But politics, they say, is local. You know, Olumide Akpata is also running against the tide. Zoning is not in his favor. You know, and whether you like it or not, these are some very strong indices, you know, that would definitely work against.
Now when you talk about zoning, you're talking about the internal zoning.
The internal zoning, internal zoning formula. Yes. You know, I think he comes from where the current governor
is
come from. You know, so I mean, you cannot have your brother, you know, occupying his seat. And then
you have after somebody from the same place occupying the same position.
Exactly. So whether you like it or not, you know, these are some of the things that will work against him. By and large, I sincerely, I pray that maybe something happens, but sincerely, if I must be sincere here, you know, I don't see Olumide Akpata. Maybe, like they say in their political this thing. Maybe this may be his own political baptism, you know.
Now, let's also factor in their running mates, because we saw the current governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy fall out at some point. The courts had to come back, reinstate. But in terms of the current political parties leading the race, the three horses, the key figures are now their running mates. The Labour Party's candidate, Mr. Olumide Akpata, much like you rightly stated, has zoning against him. Another thing the online polls are saying he has against him is his running mate, which the good people of Edo State consider to be largely an outsider. And they've also cited the fact that the Labour Party, much at the grassroots and rural areas in Edo State, is totally absent. Many are saying he might just hinge the support he's getting from the NBA and the carryover of the 2023 presidential popularity of the Labour Party. How much does the running mate factor affect this joint ticket?
In fact, it does. In 2020, when Obaseki was seeking for re-election, one of the persons that was
instrumental
to his re-election was his deputy, Philip Shaibu. Philip Shaibu, whether anybody likes it or not, is politically rooted. Politics is his stuff. You know, he knows exactly how to play. You know, that was why Obaseki was able to do some of the things he did. You know, so whether you like it or not, the choice of running mate also matters. You know, and just like I said earlier, for Olumide Akpata, that again tells you the political should I say, how political novice, you know, he is. Yes. You know, whether you like it or not, the choice of your deputy governor and the choice of where he comes from, you know, also matters. Because while you are expecting to cover point A, it is expected that your deputy governor should cover point B. Yes. You know, but in this case, I don't think that Olumide Akpata and his party took cognizance of this consideration. But this is not even the case with Obaseki or PDP and APC. You know, now the deputy governor of the running mate of Senator Monday, you know, Kpebolo, yes, you know, is a serving House of Rep member. What's his name? Something Idahosa. You know, now whether you like it or not, Idahosa is representing at least 2 local government areas
in the state.
In that state, you know. So even if you take every other thing away from him, every other local government away from him, you see those 2 local government areas where he comes from.
These people
it's expected that
he will deliver the vote.
It's expected that he should deliver the vote from those 2 local government areas.
Yes.
And that is what the election is. You know, if you go to the deputy governor of the running mate of Asue Godalo, the running mate is a serving, until recently, resigned as the SSG of the Obaseki-led administration. And from what I heard in the field, he's actually a very popular man.
well grounded in politics.
Very grounded, very loved, you know, and I'm sure that that is one of the considerations that actually led to his consideration as a running mate. So I am saying that whether we like it or not, the choice of running mate, you know, contributes very, very, very well, you know, in the outcome of a governorship election, you know.
Now let's talk about external factors that might be key to, you know, who wins this particular election. We have the president, who people are insinuating is, you know, throwing his weight behind the APC candidate. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is solidly behind the PDP candidate, and of course Peter Obi has been quite vocal about Olumide Akpata. Of all these three, who do you think that perhaps is more grounded to ensure that their candidate wins? I mean, this is no longer a fight amongst the contestants, it's now a fight amongst these three giants.
Oh, well, I think that these people's support at this time is almost inconsequential. It is inconsequential because after jumping in that podium the other day, you know, in the name of campaigning for this candidate, I mean, they left almost 41 hours later out of the state. They don't vote there. They don't vote there, you know. The only thing they would possibly do for their candidate is make calls, support with finances if need be, and all of that.
And influence in terms of lobbying and all.
And influence in terms of lobbying. Lobbying who? And as a matter of fact, the people. Only the people. You know. Apart from that, the people of Edo State, you know, the people of Edo State will vote for who they want, you know. But I am not saying that, especially in among the three of them, the person that actually has what it takes to indirectly influence, should I say directly?
More like federal might.
Yeah, more like federal might. He's a sitting president of Nigeria. If he wants Edo State to be recruited into his party as APC, then he has all it takes, you know, to actually do that. You know, there are too many things he can do to actually bring Edo State into the APC fold. But in Edo State, as of today,
yes,
like I was saying, or like I started by saying, 13 House of Rep members, only one is PDP. All, maybe one or two are Labour Party, others are APC. 3 senators, 1 Labour Party, 2 APC. About 25 House of Assembly members or so, 15 PDP, 7 APC, and a few others, Labour Party. You know, the only thing the Obaseki, the PDP has going for them maybe are the local government structures, the local government and all of that. So with this analysis I have given to you, the breakdown of who has what in terms of elected offices, you know, who do you think can win in that type of election?
That's a big question. Now, comrade, I want you to react to something. Let me use this phrase, Edo no be Lagos. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Very vividly.
I remember.
Now, this is something that many people believe that Governor Godwin Obaseki said to spite the president.
Yes.
And somehow, they feel like the president will certainly come back for his pound of flesh. But statements are also coming out from the presidency that the president has no interest whatsoever in the Edo elections. Why do we see these contradicting statements?
Again, like I said, remember I have told you here that Obaseki in the last 4 years carried on as though he was never going to need anybody, or he was never going to be interested in who succeeds him as governor. You know, no reasonable politician, you know,
burns bridges like
Obaseki did. No reasonable politician. in this country, we saw Nyesom Wike relocate from Rivers State Government House to Edo just to support Obaseki. The videos are still on the internet where he was given a rosy welcome in Rivers State when Obaseki was eventually declared winner. In fact, shortly after Obaseki was declared winner, one of the first places he visited, one of the first places he went to say thank you was Port Harcourt. The videos of the role Nyesom Wike played over that election are still on the internet.
Now, very quickly, we have 15 minutes just to wrap up this newspaper review segment. We're hoping we can touch on at least 3 items. Let's keep quiet of the items in the news and come down to the PDP, since we're still talking PDP issues. But now, in terms of the acting chairman position, Damagum, we see a fracture amongst the PDP governors. Whilst the likes of Governor Seyi Makinde, the likes of Governor Ademola Adeleke have thrown their weight behind Damagum, those in Bauchi are not too happy with the way he has carried his affairs in the PDP, and reports are that they are plotting to sack him. Many are looking at it as an extension of the entire position of PDP. Are they in crisis? How did they put their house in order ahead of 2027 now that even amongst the governors, they are split on the position of the national chairmanship? Let's get your thoughts on that.
Okay. I pity PDP. I pity PDP because the party is currently on life support. You know, any moment from now, the party may just die, except something miraculous eventually happens. It has always been my position that only 4 governors, as at today in PDP, can rescue the party. The governor of Bauchi, the governor of Adamawa, Bayelsa. Okay, 5. Oyo State, and then
maybe
Edo State.
Akwa Ibom?
No, Edo State.
Not even Akwa Ibom.
Not even Akwa Ibom. You know why?
Why?
These are second-term governors. They have no election to run in future. So all they can do, all they would do, all they should do
is to try to salvage the
position, since they have nothing to lose in future. You know, I mean, just when I thought that, okay, the PDP, the governors are waking up, you know, judging by the statement of Bala Mohammed in Bauchi, Seyi Makinde said, that thing you're saying, I am not with you. And a moment later, Fintri of Adamawa said, I am with Seyi Makinde. So these governors, Bayelsa, since he won his re-election, has been deaf and dumb. He's not. I'm not even seeing him in anything that has to do with.
He's been very diplomatic about making statements.
But I wish I can actually say some of the things I think is making him keep quiet on TV. You know, but that is.
Well, maybe you can give us a hint of it.
But that is what it is.
While also being diplomatic.
Yeah. Okay. The truth about it is that we know. I followed his re-election bid quite keenly, you know, and I can say that, but not for the tacit support he got from the federal government. Tacit support not in terms of, oh, we are supporting you. Tacit support in ensuring a free, fair, credible election, you know, and then a free, fair, ensuring that the judiciary, you know, does not interfere in the post-election
yes.
matters.
Yes.
You know, that should have been one of the reasons why he, the governor, may not be speaking out. You know, and then you go to the first-term governors. These first-term governors, like I said, they have something to lose. They have something to lose in the sense that whether they like it or not, they are going to face the election. They are going to face the election in 2027. You know, would they want to begin to burn some bridges, you know, that may help them, you know, in securing re-election in their various states? Just a few days ago, it was reported that Moino, the governor of Akwa Ibom, you know, while flagging off the local government elections in the state, warned the chairmanship candidates not to make antagonistic statements against the APC-led federal government. They should concentrate in their campaigns and leave some other matters. Do you understand? What does that tell you? This is a man who is trying to be careful. Don't forget, he has a very tough election in his hands, whether he likes it or not. The Senate President of Nigeria is from his state.
Yes.
And
come 2027.
Yes. And whether you like it or not, what will make Senator Obod Godswill Akpabio thick, politically thick and powerful, if he's able to enroll Akwa State into his party. You cannot be a Senate President, the number 3 man in the country,
and for 8 years your state has a different party.
A different political party. You know, the same thing is applicable to the new sheriff in Delta. You know, the new
well, very quickly, gentlemen, time is coming to a close. There's another issue in the news which a lot of Nigerians and our viewers will be looking to also gain insight and your opinions on, especially with this characters of sitting governors influencing successors and successors feeling the need to be loyal at all costs, even when the rule of law is somehow put into question. The ex-governor of Kogi State, his battle with the EFCC, we saw quite the controversy yesterday. EFCC saying no, he's not in our custody. Him posting pictures in the company of Governor Usman Ododo escorting him to the EFCC headquarters. Let's quickly get your position on this.
Sincerely, as we say it in the streets, that one self no claim me. What happened in EFCC that day? Sincerely, I don't understand. Is it because Yahaya Bello was escorted to that premises by a sitting governor? Was that why the EFCC couldn't arrest him? What exactly is it? Like somebody you declared wanted, somebody you say you're looking for, took himself to your premises and you didn't arrest him. We saw videos. It's not as though it was alleged. We saw videos. He came to your premises, and according to his press guy, he said the EFCC couldn't even ask him a question. What happened? According to what's his name, is it Shaibu, something Shaibu, the guy from one of these articles, Asiswe.
Yes.
He called it. There's a name he called it. He said, according to him, what happened was completely juju and all of that. But that is not even my business. You know, I feel really ashamed. You know, you cannot say you're declaring a governor is somebody wanted and the person walk up to you and you are not arresting him. And then, sincerely, I don't know if what Usman Ododo, the governor of Kogi, I don't know what he's doing actually, you know. Why is he shielding? Why does it seem like he's using his immunity to shield Yahaya Bello, for God's sake?
I mean, firstly, Yahaya Bello is his principal, and somehow it's regarded that he brought him into power. That aside, what many people want to know is why did EFCC take so much time in apprehending? Well, he has not been apprehended at this point, but why did they take so much time in ensuring that Yahaya Bello comes in for this questioning that they allege that he walked into their office? I mean, if you are looking for someone, an organization as highly placed as EFCC, you shouldn't allow the person consult with lawyers and family and political associates first before deciding to honor your invitation.
Well, again, I want to say that, Yahaya Bello is lucky to have his own party at the helm of affairs. Maybe.
Are you saying what I'm saying?
No. I am only saying, is it maybe?
Just maybe. Powers that be.
They are just trying to give him some kind of a safe landing. I'm not saying this for a fact.
Yes.
I'm just saying maybe, you know. But I take very strong exceptions to the fact that Governor Usman Ododo has constantly, you know, used his position to shield former governor.
Almost like extending his own immunity to the former governor.
Now, you can imagine the videos we saw was it last night? Or a few nights ago?
From his residence
emanating from Asokoro. Not even his residence. The governor's lodge of Kogi. What is a former governor still doing in the governor's lodge in Kogi? If, I mean, the only idea, the only reason why a former governor is still in the governor's lodge of Kogi is because you're shielding him. And for God's sake, former Governor Yahaya Bello, what is he really scared of? What offense has he committed actually? You know, I mean, if he knows his hands are clean, I mean, there is a popular saying, clear accusations, yes. Or clear conscience fears no accusation. Yes. You know, if you know you have clear conscience, if you know you have done absolutely nothing wrong, if you know you have not tampered with Kogi State funds, please come out and face your issues. Come out and tell the EFCC this is it. Unfortunately for him, the what's it called?
Yes.
In the last few weeks or in the last few months, you know, the EFCC, majority of Nigerians believe that they have been playing to the gallery. Yes. You know, what we've been seeing them do is media trials. You know, and I had thought that Yahaya Bello can capitalize on those kind of that kind of stuff. You know,
to clear his conscience,
to say, come, what I have been facing is complete media trial. You know, I am here to look at what former Governor Ayo Fayose did. Shortly after he left office, he drove straight with a customized T-shirt, EFCC. I am here. Today, he's not walking the streets of Nigeria.
He's walking free in the streets
of Nigeria. He's walking free in the streets of Nigeria. So you, Governor Yahaya Bello, if you know your hands are clean, if you know you have absolutely nothing to fear, go to the EFCC and clear your name. I don't understand why a former governor, I mean, EFCC is placing you wanted. This agency of secretary agency is saying you are wanted and all of it is. I mean, it is shameful. It is shameful and not good for the image of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration too.
Well, Comrade Richard Romanos, I must thank you so much. It's been a very impactful deliberation here on the program. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, let's just remind you again about the position of the CNPP following the EFCC versus ex-Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello saga. It was captured earlier on the First newspaper. They think it's a little bit melodramatic and an embarrassment to our national image. The headline read, EFCC's persecution of Yahaya Bello, a national embarrassment. CNPP blast anti-corruption body. Coalition of 60 CSOs concur, say EFCC engaging in melodramas, theatrics. Well, the headline speaks for itself. Well, we'll take a break now. When we return, we'll look more in-depthly into the build-up to tomorrow's voting in Edo State as it concerns the gubernatorial election. We're hoping that we can also have some of the engagements from online reactions following the deployment of electoral materials to Edo State and INEC's preparedness. Remember, technology is being hinged as one of the reasons why it will be credible. The Beavers and IREV is still another conversation which we're yet to talk about on the show. And when we return from this break, that will be our central focus as we engage more on the Edo Guber elections 2024. Stay with us.
Welcome to the world where innovation meets opportunity, where ideas become empires. This is Market TV.
I am Idorian Flannan, and every week I'll be taking you inside the dynamic world of marketing and commercial business.
From groundbreaking startups to big businesses, Market TV brings you the best pricing and latest goods on display.
It's all about understanding your audience and staying ahead of the trends.
Witness the creative processes that drive the various brands.
Join us as we dive deep into the strategies that shape the commercial landscape. From streets to traditional advertising and social media, we cover it all.
Whether you're a seasoned professional or an aspiring entrepreneur, Market TV provides the insights you need to thrive.
This show gave us the tool to turn our vision into reality.
So, if you're ready to master the market, Tune in to Market TV every Saturday at 6 p.m.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people they talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
In this kind of situation now, what if they really no talk to Ona? What will be the way forward?
They go bury our chairman on Thursday. We go remain here.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we not dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager, the bank executive, they are the one the government should first pay.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
In a world of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
Step into the heartbeat of the world where news meets real talk. From breakthroughs in diplomacy to humanitarian challenges and scientific milestones, Global Digest takes you beyond the headlines and straight to the heart of the matter. I am Ama Marcus. Be a part of the world unfolding stories at 3 p.m. on ADBN, channel 258 on DSTV, and Star Times, channel 140. Global Digest, your window to the world's current affairs, only on Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Glad you could join us. We don't expect much significant weather by Friday morning as cloudy atmosphere is expected across the country with spells of sunshine to the north and the north central cities. However, we have slim prospect of early morning thunderstorms to parts of Adama, Taraba, Kebbi, FCT, Niger, Kwara and Kogi with light rain showers to parts of Ebonyi, Akwa Ibom and Cross River State. The afternoon weather is more to the eastern parts of the country where thunderstorms and rains are expected across the northeastern region, including parts of Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, FCT and Kogi, as well as the southeastern region and parts of Ondo, Ogun and Oyo in the southwest. Let's see how this weather affects the temperatures.
And you're welcome back to Morning Express. Now to continue discussions surrounding developing issues in the country, the lead up to the Edo gubernatorial polls amongst many issues. But first, let's take a look at a story springing up from Zamfara State, where the state governor has accused the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, of his involvement in banditry, also accusing the former governor of Zamfara State of looting the state's treasury far above the 70 billion naira EFCC charged him for. This is what many describe as a can of worms. While others are siding with the governor, some other people are saying he should focus more on issues concerning his state and leave the minister to work. We're being joined now by Honorable Cletus Obun, who is a media expert, an economist, and a public affairs commentator who is a regular on the program as well. Hello, good morning, Honorable. You're welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks a great deal.
Now, issues of the anti-corruption fight has been largely a melodramatic one in terms of the phrase used by some media publications this morning. We earlier talked about the ex-Kogi governor. Now we're looking at the situation in Zamfara State. A lot of persons say that it is largely more political than it is indeed a fight against corruption. What do you make of this allegations as leveled by a successor against his predecessor, as we've seen reported in the news this morning?
Well, let me say that the Zamfara case, especially the angle and tangent from which the governor is coming from, looks to me first of all like a school debate. And he's been on this in the past 72 hours, from station to station, trying to brandish and tar the image of the sitting minister, who is responsible for our security, a very serious turning matter of national interest, yes, and distracting him. And his state is a flashpoint. If we take statistics, he has no business even discussing fraud. He has every reason not to complain. Throughout the tenure of Matawalle, the entire amount for 4 years that he stayed in office was 246 billion. That's what he got, including local government allocations. 246 billion in 4 years. This governor sitting here between May 2023 and 2024, it is on your phone, and National Bureau for Statistics will show you, he has gotten 140 billion in 12 months. What does that tell you? That what the governor got for 4 years, what Matawalle got for 4 years, he's getting more than 57% of it in 12 months.
In just 12 months.
While the monthly allocation was never beyond 3.5 billion a month, this governor has got, the least he has got is 7.1 billion a month. Matawalle left a wage bill, a deficit of 3 months' salaries, which he is crying about. At 3.5 billion, each monthly salary was 1.8 billion in Zamfara State within the 40 years of Matawalle. Today, that wage bill is the same because most of the workers he claimed are ghost workers have been reduced. So the wage bill has been reduced from 1.8 billion to less than 1.5 billion. And with a 7.1 billion average monthly income from Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, he came back and took away the 3 months without even paying the political appointees who left office, because their salary was also included in the 3 months that were being owed. He paid only the civil servants and never paid the political appointees. So what he's claiming there does not even exist. The statistics show that.
Yet he has not accounted for the monies
but
that were earmarked.
Yes, the 140 billion has not even been accounted for. Today in Zamfara, kidnappings and abductions take place in the center of Gusau, which was before now never. His own younger brother was abducted and 50 million demanded 4 months before Matawalle became governor. He came into office, negotiated, and brought back the younger brother. Today he's talking about he's not negotiating. How can you be somersaulting with logic? You claim that you don't want to negotiate, but the chief negotiator of bandits, is your present DG of of security, whereas the former IG of police who was acting in that position, you removed him. And you say you are not ready to negotiate, and you are keeping the chief negotiator of Wood Bandits as your chief security advisor.
That's a contradicting action.
Yes. So when you talk in that manner in the public space, you must have to cross-check your facts. These are some of the somersaults, the logical somersaults that the governor shouldn't be engaged and indulged in. If you have a flashpoint of a state like this, what you should be doing is concentrating and cooperating and collaborating with the security apparatus that is controlled by the Minister of State and Minister of Defense and the Minister of State Defense, who luckily is your predecessor. That should be a collaborative effort, and not to get into the politics of trying to do damage and image control, misinform and disinform and distort information with such blatant falsehood and parading facts and figures that don't add up when the statistics are there for everybody to see from the records available.
Now what rift do you think that the current governor probably has with his predecessor, someone whom the entire country knows is on his toes, is currently in Sokoto with the military chiefs to ensure that, under the directives of the president, to ensure that they bring an end to the banditry and insecurity in the Northwest? Yet a governor whom Matawale is fighting for in his state is also fighting against the minister.
This is the contradiction I'm talking about. Dauda is nothing but a bundle of contradictions. He is too excited, like a child looking for biscuits on a table, on a dining table. He just cannot believe that he's a governor. Because this was a person, if you remember, who was being indicted with the Diziani loot and money laundering. He was on the run. How he became a governor is something that he is still celebrating. And rather than concentrate on how to get the security matter out of the way, he's too excited and dancing around the streets of Zamfara and jumping from station to station as if he is on a show, a circus show. What kind of circus show is that from a governor? The art of governance is a very serious business, especially in an era of insecurity, especially in his state. The rise that the last administration wanted to use Zamfara as an example has all gone down because of insecurity and banditry in his area. And with the present Minister of State, who was his predecessor, sitting in the Northwest, he has moved it's like moving the theater, the war theater, to the Northwest and sitting in Sokoto to control security there. And you can see presently, I just got reports this morning from Zamfara, from Kebbi, and from Sokoto, that the Air Force is bombarding locations of bandits on a daily basis with the supervision of the Minister of State, who is from that area, because the Minister of Defense himself is also from the area and had deployed him to go there and help out. And the man is there doing his job and making sure that these people are taken out. And you can see the decimation of the bandits and the insurgents all over the place. The military is doing its work, both aerially and on the ground. And the ground forces are on, the air forces are coming on with the Air Force, and then they are now getting down. There's clinical coordination by the Minister of State, Matawale, and the only thing you can do to him is to distract him with, I've told you this, the total amount Matawale got as governor for 4 years is 246 billion. I am saying to you that in 12 months, the present governor has gotten 140 billion. He has not even been able to pay the political appointees for the 3 months that Matawale, with 3.5 billion as the highest ever he got in any month. He was able to pay an owe only for 3 months. He was able to again do other projects. But when you now say he's owing 70 billion, what you are saying, with 205 billion, you are saying that he's taking over 1/3 of that money. Because if you take 70 billion by 4 years, it's less than 70 billion. That means you are telling that he took that means you couldn't even have paid for 1 month's salary if he took 70 billion from 246 billion. If you take 70, it means he didn't do anything at all, couldn't have even been able to pay salaries. So what are you discussing? Are you now the prosecutor, the accuser, the prosecutor, and the judge, and passing judgment on the man? You have already brought him before the law enforcement agencies, the EFCC and others. He has no immunity. So he's under investigation. It's not their duty to go from, don't you even have commissioners? Is he so idle? Is it such an idle government?
In the place of the Commissioner of
Information. The Commissioner of Information to say, in any case, why should a state be announced? It is EFCC that should be saying this, the person we are prosecuting. It should even be the place of the governor doing that. That means it is very vindictive. It is insidious, it is childish, it is completely out of place for a sitting governor to take his time and leave Zamfara to come into Abuja and be jumping from station to station just to blackmail and undermine and do damage on his predecessor, who is sitting in office as minister, helping him out to bring down insurgency and banditry that is disrupting his own state. Zamfara has been in the news for the bad reasons, especially in terms of banditry, and the entire country is focusing on Zamfara. And that Zamfara man is dancing circle shows from station to station rather than concentrating on how to cooperate with the substantive ministers and the Minister of State to be able to get security fixed in his state. Because today in the entire country, security is #1 on the list of every state, and Zamfara is worst hit. So we expect that governor to be more circumspect, to be more obeying, to be more civil, and to be more concentrated on what he should do to bring about peace in his state. And as I talk to you like I'm talking to you now, I'm telling you that it is getting worse and worse on a daily basis in Zamfara. So if a man who sits as governor and the chief security officer is dancing around the place rather than concentrate on that, and even with the man who is supposed to be helping him, then this is dangerous for our country, and some people are undeserving of anything that has to do with governance.
Now let's look at the position of the Conference of Nigerian Political Parties, CNPP. They have looked at it from the angle of the EFCC. They say it is the fault of the EFCC that has allowed for cases involving graft to be made a media trial and melodramatic. Do you think that the EFCC in handling such cases, many would say against high-level individuals who once enjoyed immunity, still in some cases enjoy immunity, should have invited the courts so that any comments made in such regards might also be liable for contempt against an issue brought before a competent court of law? Do you think the EFCC could have handled this matter even better to forestall some of this theatrics we're seeing as entertained by the media?
Let me tell you, after what I saw happen in the last 24 hours with the former Kogi State governor, EFCC has to sit up, and there has to be a shake-up in that sector. EFCC is such a very serious, high-profile anti-graft agency that shouldn't be engaged. We should see results. We shouldn't even hear them, because you make people even get ready for you with these theatricals. This is farcical drama of the tragic tradition. We are now beginning to make it melodramatic. It's becoming a joke, a circus show. We are getting ourselves into very bad situations in which people now use EFCC to dance around and think that they can use it against their opponents. This is very wrong. The case of Yaya Bello is one of such very tragic things that has happened to us in recent times. A man walks into your office and you say he came with the governor. You said any Nigerian. You didn't say governors are excluded. You didn't say governors who has any information that can lead to the arrest.
Yet he walks in there and
the man comes in and says the person he came with is a sitting governor and therefore it is not part of your protocol. Assuming that you went on the street, one of your operatives were walking on the street and saw him and saw Yaya Bello sitting with the IG of police. What will you say? What will you do? You see him in the market stopping to buy oranges. What were you going to do? You look down and say it's a marketplace. It's against your protocol to arrest in the market. So are there definitions of where we saw? This is completely a dumb way of acting.
Now, earlier, Honorable, we were speaking here on the program, and the question was raised as to why the current governor in Kogi State, Ododo, is sort of shielding Yaya Bello, almost like an extension of his own immunity to the former governor, who no longer enjoys immunity as he is out of office. And why is he being allowed to do this?
Now, let me tell you this. By our laws, by our own laws, the Constitution and all extant statutes that deal with crime and criminal justice administration in Nigeria, there is nothing absolutely wrong. Indeed, if you remember, Obiano, they were marking him and taking down what he was doing. Immediately he finished and lost immunity, he was taken in. He came, he explained himself, got through the legal processes. Today he is on trial. Ibori took more than 5-7 years to get convicted. He escaped conviction in Nigeria, got it in Britain. Same also with Ekweremadu and all that. In Nigeria, we've seen Ojus Okalu. We've seen Jolly Nyame. We've seen several others like that, former governors who were tried and put in detention even when they later on got amnesty to get out of the place. But they were convicted. They are ex-convicts. They may have been having the waivers, but the law is there and the records
and most of them didn't have this melodrama with the EFCC.
Yes, they didn't. We only saw the result. So we must see a more mature way of handling these things. And the case of Bello is even more telling. You are now claiming that he came with the governor. The governor said, the person you are looking for, I've got him. Here he is. If he came with him to hand over to you, Mr. Governor, thank you very much. Wait for him here if you want to wait. Otherwise, you can go. We'll take him in and we'll have to interrogate him. It may take a long time. If the man says, I don't mind, let me wait. And he waits. And you come back and say, from the interrogation, we can't finish today. We are going to keep him. Please, you can go. Will the governor at that point say, no, I must go with the person I brought? It's no longer his property. He came to hand him over, as you requested, every Nigerian. If you had put a bounty on him, you would have paid it to Yaya Bello. I mean, to Ododo.
Yes.
If you had put a bounty on him, he would have collected it. Because anybody who can bring him. And he brought him to you.
He's a Nigerian
and the man said, yes, he's a Nigerian governor and he brought him. It could have been anybody. It could have been a farmer who said, I found him in my farm. It could have been a mechanic and say, he came to a mechanic workshop. Please come and take him. So having done that, and then he walks up to you, you are not telling people later on that they should not bother themselves again, bringing such people to you. That's what they're telling you. It's a bad story to tell, and I think it leaves a sour taste in the mouth on the part of EFCC. This media trial, before today, we had already questioned it, and today the media must have to go out and ask the chairman why he thinks that the only way in which he can show that he's working is to arrest people rather than get from them. Because somebody had made the point, and I agree with them, that the intentment of EFCC is to recover and punish those who engage in financial crimes. In fact, the title of the EFCC has even become for me more curious. Hear the name of the economic and financial crimes. That is, they are promoting economic and financial crimes. It should be anti-economic financial and financial crimes
commission.
Crimes commission. Anti. It shouldn't be economic and financial crime commission.
It's known unofficially as Nigeria's anti-graft and anti-corruption
agency. It should even be in the name. I'm sure that is why they're acting this drama. The nomenclature needs to change because there's something in the name in Africa. You can say in Europe that what's in the name? A rose called by this, will it change? Yes, in Nigeria it changes. Because it's the circumstances under the birth that the child is given birth to, that the name is given. To show what it tells the story about that family. So when you get that, or what you expect, it's a hope, expectation, or event. That's what gives birth to a name in Africa. On all African languages, that is our tradition. So you cannot give a name and say this one is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So it can be promotion of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. If it is anti, let it be so defined.
Now, before we cross over to the Edo, build up to the Edo elections for tomorrow, the last question concerning this situation is what has been considered as a clash between sister agencies. I don't know if you're privy to the video going rounds emanating from the Kogi Governor's Lodge in Asokoro here in Abuja about quite the sporadic shooting at some point, dispersal of tear gas involving this same matter. Do you think that the sister agencies could have better handled this situation?
Clearly, this is what I'm saying is part of the melodrama I'm talking about. That in getting into Kogi Governor House, first of all, they violated the privacy of the governor, who willingly brought somebody to you. They were unfair to him, and he's completely a gentleman. Ododo should be commended by Nigerians, because what happened there would have been dead bodies in that place, given some of the governors I know in this country. If you try that within their premises, those people will all come out there as dead bodies. That is not what we expect from us. Agency to agency, identifying yourselves, you couldn't respect each other and discuss quietly and move away from the narrative that is taking place. They left after the man had come to the office. They now came there and they now told him, go, we shall invite you. And they were waiting, expecting that even by midnight they will call them. Then the call eventually comes and say, where is our location? And they say, I'm in the governor's lodge here. He said, okay. And then they walk into the place and sat to them and discuss and say, we came here, it will not be fair for us to just receive this man like this. Let us act. That is not what they were all acting. Let us arrest him in order to give a name
to what they were doing.
To what they are doing. Not to give verb. In other words, they are underpaid to take the action that must be an arrest. Anything short of an arrest, they won't justify the pay. That is the impression being given. This does not in any way add credibility to the EFCC. And I think the Nigerians must have to know this. And that is why even the governor of Zamfara State must be told in plain terms that governance is not a disco show. It's not a discotheque. He should stop those dance steps. They don't give responsibility and don't imbue integrity on the office of governor in Nigeria. You make the entire world to mock Nigeria and begin to question how people like this got into office. You jump from this Dizzani's money laundering case and become governor under circumstances that nobody knows, and being so fortuitous, you are not also being grateful and being humbled, and you turn around to now start hunt a man who is hunting for criminals to keep your state safe for you. That should be condemned, and that must not be allowed. And the president of Nigeria must call him to order and ask him to go back and sit in Gusau and fix Gusau and make sure that the kidnappings and the banditry that is going on inside Gusau town, inside the capital, which never happened throughout the 4 years of Matawale, should not take place anymore. The government has to take that warning because this childish behavior must stop.
All right, Honorable. Well, that has been quite a very robust discussion surrounding the security situation in Zamfara State and the rift between the Governor, Lawal Dauda, and the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale. Honorable also touched on the issue of the case of Yaya Bello and the EFCC. Now, turning our attention to the Edo gubernatorial polls, less than 24 hours to the elections, where electorates will hit the polls and exercise their civil franchise. The APC, PDP, and the Labour Party, as well as some 14 other candidates, are on the starting line. Who will finish the race and who will emerge as the #1 citizen of Edo State? This question will be answered at the polls tomorrow. Now, coming back to you, Honorable, the Edo election is quite one that is hugely contested for, and it appears that there is a lot of interest both internally in the state and externally. We saw that the president is, vying for the candidate of the APC. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is throwing his weight behind the People's Democratic Party candidate. And of course, Peter Obi has been quite vocal about Olumide Akpata in the elections. These are all three new political incomers. What do we see happening in Edo tomorrow?
Well, Edo is as good as done and dusted. But I can also tell you that it shows the robustness. If you know the historical antecedents of Edo as Bendel State with Benin, as ancient as the 18th century, 17th century, Benin was already designated a city on the African continent. There is no such other state or vicinity or country home or any urban area, even Lagos, that was ever the word city was added to. Two is that historically too, you will agree that that is the only place in Nigeria that got its own status and sovereignty by a referendum in 1964 when it became Midwestern Nigeria, being excised from Western Nigeria with an identity as Bendel, which was Benin and Delta, which was later separated by the military as Delta State, leaving Edo State as what it is from Benin. Bendel, Benin, Delta. That is why it was what it was in the days of Ambrose Ali, in the days of Ogbomodia and other such great men who came from that area. So Edo is historical, and tomorrow history is going to repeat itself. It is three factors coming on board. Performance, signposted by Adams Oshomole. Rebellion, signposted by the PDP in Obaseki. A false declaration of victimhood in 2020. He claimed and climbed back as a victim. Today, he has shown himself as a victimizer. The Edo people know better than that. Bringing down every relic and everything that has to do with the tradition of Obi, which is, again, goes back to history. If you know the person of Obaseki, Oba Obaseki himself had betrayed Obaronwe Obaise, who was exiled to Calabar. And so that history repeated itself when he again attempted to denigrate the office of the Oba. So it is going to be tradition and history coming together tomorrow. Then again, you have the history of equity represented by Osaibovo Akpata, a Benison, who by their tradition had agreed that the 3 senatorial districts must rotate the governorship. That goes against him. As a person, as a candidate, he's strong, he's good enough to go. But on the basis of tradition and history, it will be a disruptive, he will become a disruptive agency in that matrix, in that mix. Therefore, he leaves the battleground in Edo Central, where, of course, you have an Edo, a Benison as Deputy Dennis, a summary, a summation, an arrival of the native son, and APC, all odds favor APC. But those votes won't be able to cut across all the 18 local governments. The 18 local governments are 191 wards.